What's up, guys? So today we're going to be discussing a topic that I have briefly brought up a couple times in some of my past videos. And that is the whole idea that in life, most people tend to blame things they can't change for their problems, rather than what the minority do, who actually get successful, which would be sort of accepting the things they can't change and foregoing blaming these things for their problems and changing the things they can change. And usually what that comes down to is changing yourself, how you think, what you do with your time, how you interact, who you talk to, who you choose to spend your time with, what you choose to do with your time, and what you do overall. And so this is a concept that I've sort of noticed for quite a while. I don't know if it will lead anywhere, if it's actually true or not, but I definitely have noticed it, and it has come up. It's been a reoccurring thing in quite a few things I've been listening to. Audiobooks on becoming successful, making money. By the way, money it shouldn't be your greatest concern in life. Money should not be your only goal, because who's to say that truly brings happiness? But it also has come up in very distinct niches, such as video gaming, specifically League of Legends. And I actually did a video on my gaming channel a couple months ago on the same exact topic, more geared towards the league. And basically in the game, which I've also seen applied to many areas of life as well, the whole idea that in the game, it's a cooperative game of 5 players, so you're interacting with 4 real human beings on your team versus 5 others. The vast majority of players on there, they will immediately start blaming everyone else for doing this wrong or doing that wrong, rather than even for a second realizing or focusing on all the blatant mistakes they're making. Now, when I say blatant, that's only because I've achieved a higher level of that gameplay now. On the ranking system, I am platinum ranking right now. And so looking at the average player who may be silver ranking or below that, they make a lot of blatantly obvious mistakes that could dramatically change the game. However, for them, they're unaware of these mistakes, and so they're just constantly blaming others, and they really think that they're not making that big a difference or that many mistakes, when in true honesty they're making very small mistakes that lead to large mistakes over time. And it's really down to themselves. That's the cause of the problem, and that's why they are at their ranking. And so to apply this to life, it's the same sort of thing. In order to get ahead, you sort of have to take that into account. And I used to do this in life quite a lot too, specifically with family. I would not like how certain family members, talk and think and so forth. And I spent all my time arguing with them, trying to instill my beliefs and change them. When sometimes, and oftentimes with my family at least, that is impossible to do. It's just not possible. So rather than wasting your time doing something like this, spend your time interacting with yourself and making yourself better. It's similar to going to the gym or getting a good grade on your test. I feel like the average person, most people, they will go to their room and they'll be depressed because they failed the test, or they're not very buff. They don't have muscles, and they'll blame a lot of things. Oh, that guy was born with better genetics. Oh, that guy, he's naturally smarter. But for a lot of things, especially courses in college and stuff like that, these things, it's really just down to hard work and preparation and work ethic, not really mental power. And in life, that's going to be the case as well. Work ethic does play a huge part, and so blaming other people it won't lead anywhere. You can blame everyone until your face is blue. Is that going to change where you're at? No. And yet they do this all the time. They just sit there and complain. Woe is me. My life sucks. Nothing changes. And it's just a very negative thinking that results in no change. Whereas in reality, if they just spent that hour or so every day complaining, and most people will be like, oh, I don't spend an hour complaining. I've watched these people who believe that they don't, over time, just constantly wasting their time complaining, and it adds up to like 2-3 hours. And why not take this and use it to study, to get a better grasp at what you don't know, and figure it out and do better on the test. And that's not always easy. I know how it is when you're taking advanced courses in college. Sometimes it gets very abstract, or there's just a lot of details, and it can come down to memorization and mental capacity. However, at the end of the day, there is a huge margin, I feel like, where people are wasting their time when they could be changing themselves. They have the potential to at least get to a certain level, which they're not at, thinking that they're stuck at below a certain level. And this also applies to dating as well. I know one person who he just has a very negative mindset to the whole thing. He had 2 girlfriends. One of them cheated on him. He's already a junior in college, and honestly, his whole negative mindset is the whole idea that it was a long distance relationship. I should have done this more. Life sucks. This sort of stuff happens to me. Woe is me. Why did it happen? And quite honestly, for me, having read up a lot about this and knowing a lot about it already, this gets into a different field, but the general gist is that you shouldn't be wasting your time negatively thinking or complaining that a girl cheated on you, and thinking that life dealt you wrong. And it's been years later and he's still sort of caught up in this, and from a neutral perspective, he's getting nothing out of it except hours of reoccurring pain over a girlfriend who probably didn't actually mean that much. For whatever reason, ego or whatever, just pain from the past, he can't let go of that, and it's just wasting a lot of his precious time. And we all know time is the one thing you can never really get back. I mean, once it's gone, it's gone. And that's different from money. I mean, if you lose money, you can earn it back. So for him and his girlfriend and his cheating girlfriend, he would pretty much say that it was a long distance relationship. I barely saw them, and when I did, I blew all my money to impress this girl, and we could only talk via the phone. Oh, and it was completely my fault, blah blah blah. And that's a wrong perspective in so many ways. First off, if you constantly have that mindset that it's all your fault, guarantee you're going to attract more cheating girlfriends with that attitude. It's going to happen in the future. Why? Because you're presenting yourself as a sucker who is willing to take all the blame, when oftentimes that blame should be on the girl. And sometimes you'll run into girls who are like this, and quite honestly, it's never black and white. The girl, there are prim and proper girls in appearance who are prone to cheating. Like, you can't just tell, like, from appearance alone that girls are like this or that. It's not black and white. It's not like two separate groups. There's different variations and mixes and stuff like that, and different levels of cheating, and some of it just happen unnaturally. But I really feel like a lot of time, most of these relationships, up until your maybe late 20s, these girls and a lot of guys, they're not taking it seriously. They say they are, but they don't know what they're talking about, and they're willing to cheat the instant some alcohol is involved, or something just comes up, and it seems like a better relationship. So for him to place all this blame on it is useless. And the second thing is for him to waste so much more time after the thing is done with, on just dwelling on the past and getting nothing out of it but negative experience. I know it sucks and stuff, but you kind of have to get over it. And the biggest thing is that he doesn't really look into himself to do anything about it. He's not actively seeking to meet new girls or meet new people. And because of that, he's just stuck in this state. And that's what certain people do. So the big idea is just stop blaming things you can't change, because that's not going to change anything. You're just going to be stuck there complaining, feeling miserable, and nothing's going to change. So if you want to change something, change what you can change. And oftentimes that sometimes ends up being the only thing you can guarantee change, which is how you think, how you talk, how you act. You, basically yourself. And what you do with your time, and how you use it and spend it. And from that, just take it and go for it. And yeah, don't point the finger constantly, because I mean, it's a crazy world. And yeah, don't just let anyone, like, don't be a sucker and let anyone just blame you constantly when it's not your fault. And that's how it is. That's all I gotta say. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Peace. I'll see you guys later.